back to another video. This is my sober journey. My name is Lena Ann Rose. I'm just going to jump right into it. And I have been taking personal inventory of myself. And I think as alcoholics, addicts that are in sobriety and they're seeking recovery, we should all be taking personal inventory of ourselves. And throughout this video, I am going to be reading stuff that I want to share with you because I found it quite profound. First, I want to talk about, taking personal inventory of yourself and staying accountable. And I wanted to go into, I was questioning myself. Am I a dry drunk? Being that I, possibly could have fell off my pink cloud. In a previous video I was talking about, I feel like I plateaued. I'm not moving forward in my sobriety, and it put me into looking into how I was feeling, evaluating how I'm feeling. I went to the doctors, looked into hormone therapy, just constantly moving forward in your sobriety and seeking recovery and taking personal inventory of yourself and trying to figure out what's the next step after all the excitement has worn off of, being and trying to stay clean and sober, especially off of alcohol when, in the United States of America, it's utterly romanced. It's okay. And it's normalized. But for people like me, or maybe you, that, has a high chance of getting addicted, it's not okay. So I want to start off by, I've always known to take personal inventory of myself, but each time I've gotten sober, it's been different. I don't go to AA anymore, and AA was when I first learned about, constantly taking personal inventory of yourself. So I want to start by reading a few things. I'll try not to bore you, but constantly taking personal inventory means ongoing self-reflection to assess your strengths, your weaknesses, and how your actions align with your values and goals. This practice involves honest self-assessment to identify patterns, take responsibility for your behavior, and make necessary changes which help with self-improvement. Better decision-making and personal growth is often done through regular check-ins, journaling, meditation, and foster honesty, accountability. I'm going to talk about that, and a sense of peace. I won't go too deep into it. I'll just summarize how to take personal inventory of yourself. Reflect on your life. I've been doing a lot of that. Analyze your behavior. I went down a rabbit hole with that. All through October, all through November. Identifying your roles. I want to read into this one. Examine your various roles and responsibilities to see if they bring you joy or cause stress, and whether they are still suitable for you. Back that up. Hear that again. Because that's big, And that's what I've been doing. I've been analyzing it. Is what I'm going through stressful? What's happening to me? Define your goals. Consider what your dreams and your goals are and what obstacles are preventing you from reaching them. That's why I made the doctor's appointment. I want to eliminate stuff. Is it my hormones? Just, I've had my patch on for a couple of days and I'm really feeling different. There's more clarity. The fog is lifted. And and just having my patches is giving me the ability to make these videos. Practice honesty. Be brutally honest with yourself, especially when looking at personal and moral failings that led to trouble or kept you from achieving your goals. Benefits of personal inventory: self-awareness, growth and development, better decision making, ding, ding, ding. Accountability. I love that word, accountability. It's very honorable if somebody ever tells you, you have a lot of accountability. I love to hear that. Improve relationships and a peace of mind. So, in a summary, on a daily basis, which reading this has reminded me, in order to stay sober, you have to take personal inventory of yourself. You really need to break it down. And I just got off work, and I was telling a coworker about it, and she looked at me and she says, staying sober is not easy. It takes a lot of work, And so I want to move on to, because I was asking myself, geez, am I a dry drunk? So I looked that up because I'm trying to take personal inventory of myself. I'm trying to identify my feelings. Social media can make you go down a rabbit hole and make you possibly be feeling an ailment, can make you confused to think maybe, you might have that. So I'm very careful in what I read because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. I don't want to go down that path. But moving on, I'm rambling. A dry drunk can be described as a person who refrains from alcohol or drugs but still has all the unresolved emotion and psychological issues. I put a note next to it. This is me. Which might have fueled the addiction to begin with. Yes. My trauma, your trauma, you if I got bad memories or I just had a bad day, something triggered my trauma, my PTSD that a counselor told me I had years ago, from my childhood. I didn't have the best childhood. I've been on my own since I was 13. I remember my first time I got drunk, I was 8 years old. So all that stuff, when you get older, for me, as I got older, it bothered me more. So these unresolved issues continue to have a hold on your psychic, and hence, while they do not seek intoxication, they exhibit many of other behaviors and traits. Yep. I remember in my first year, I know I did that. But my first year was just surviving every day, just getting through a day without drinking. So, but I remember, aggression, flying off the handle quickly, taking things personal. I was very critical of myself. I want to say somewhat paranoid, because I always felt like maybe somebody was talking about me. You know, it was just constant. And everything was a chore, you know. But that's in your first year. That first year, for me, it was just, I'm just not going to drink. I just want to get through my first year. And again, I want to go back by saying that, you know, that excitement kind of wore off, because my chore was to get to 12 months. And I'm at the point in my sobriety now, I'm at 3 years, and I'm like, okay, now what? You know, fell off that cloud, fell off that pink cloud. So where was I? Well, they do not seek intoxication. They exhibit many of these other behaviors and traits associated with addiction. In most cases, alcohol dependency is a substantial factor in the lives of the alcohol, and accepting sobriety comes with its own challenges and understanding of their personalities. Despite leaving alcohol and de-addicting themselves, most of their personalities are an embodiment of their previous selves. Back that up and hear it again. I said yes to both of them. Despite leaving alcohol and de-addicting themselves, most of their personalities are an embodiment of their previous selves. That, I mean, to me, that speaks volumes to me. Changing your behavior. You can still be sober, but your behavior's still there. I work with a guy at work. You know, he said, I haven't drank in 20 years. He's got the biggest bag of candy, and anything and everything, he'll just fly off the handle. He did it tonight. He threw a fit because he didn't want to run a machine, and he literally left. He stormed out. I don't want to be that sober person. And I'm recognizing that behavior through seeking recovery and taking personal inventory of myself. My reading's almost done, but this was very important to me. I wanted to share it. Hopefully somebody out there can resonate. This can resonate with them, or I can help them. They're stuck, you know. The dry drunk is portrayed with feelings of profound depression. I was there. And frustration. I was there. And with the indecisive feeling of wanting to drink that they have given up. Let me read that again, because it didn't sound right. Frustration with the indecisive feeling of wanting to drink that they have given up. I wrote a note on the side because I never wanted to give up. But I wrote no, but on my note on the side I wrote, but frustration, I felt that. I'm sorting out where my headspace is, how I'm feeling, and I seek out why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, because I'm scared of relapsing. So I know the relapse is out there. And I spoke about that in a past video. When I relapsed, I didn't see it coming. I just did it, and I was in it, and I was off and running to the races again. So that was my side note. Many alcoholics drink for long periods before maintaining sobriety for a period and become accustomed to the personality and the character traits that are embodied by the behavior during addiction. Back that up and hear it again. That's a good one. Their behavior during addiction. It embodies you. You don't change. You're just not drinking. And I think it gets worse because when you're not drinking, you feel it more. You feel that frustration. You feel the aggression. I mean, I was at the point where in my first year that just pulling the garbage bag out of a garbage can and it wouldn't come out. I about threw a fit. I was cussing and wailing and just doing all kinds of stuff. Now, in my third year, doing personal inventory of myself, if that happens to me, I slow down. I take a look. Hey, what's going on? And I get it done. It's not a big deal. You go back to some of my other videos, and I haven't been YouTubing for very long, but there was some other videos where all in the comments, you got this, it'll be okay. You know, calm down, you'll be okay. Just don't drink for today. It's because a lot of my videos were just like, I was, you know, kind of losing it. But I'm going to get it. Because excuse me, I'm going to get it because I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore. I don't want to do anything that will alter my mind. Because I knew the last time I went out, it wasn't good. It wasn't good for my health. I felt stuff happening to me. I literally woke up out of my sleep because I was tremoring. And it was a type of tremor that my jaws were clenched. I felt it in my bones. It was just uncontrollable. I never talked to a doctor about it. Maybe that's my next step on what was happening. Was I, you know, detoxing? Was I withdrawing in my sleep? That stuff started to scare me. Because my first, you know, ever guy I was with for a really long time, that's one reason why I left him. He would have alcohol-induced seizures in his sleep and he'd pee the bed. I didn't want to be around that anymore. That's my older daughter's father. You know, but there's me judging another alcoholic. How big of me was that? Let me get back on track because I am a rambler. I'm at that age. Behavior during addiction. Embodied by the behavior during your addiction. During this phase of dry drunk, the addict faces restlessness, frustration, anger, impatience, and cravings. But my side note I wrote, no cravings, I just reminisced. Especially if I was driving home, because I work swing shift. And I'd see all the cars lined up in the bars. I would reminisce just for a minute. What are there to be? I mean, all the way down to smelling the alcohol. Just the smell of an alcohol when you walk into a bar. And all of a sudden I snapped out of it and I thought to myself, all those people are going to drive drunk. And I went home. So my mind will drift in and out every once in a while on that. The symptoms of dry drunkenness are irregular, and some individuals can be less intense than others. Let me read that again. The symptoms of dry drunkenness are irregular, and in some individuals can be less intense, while others remain unchanged. Yeah? Irregular, and some individuals can be less intense, and others remain unchanged. I don't know if my behavior in my first year or so, was it intense? I think it was. I would do stupid stuff. I was so mad one time. I came down and the kitchen was dirty for my younger daughter. And a lot of the dishes were just nasty, and I just got so tired. I scooped them all up and threw them in the garbage can. And I was mad. I was furious. Would I do that today? No. No. I was taking personal inventory without remembering that I was taught that in treatment, Lakeside Milam, Auburn, Washington. Spoke of that in a past video. And, you know, my favorite AA spot that was in Auburn. Loved that place. I just learned not to sweat the small stuff or the big stuff. They were big to me, but I just learned not to sweat it anymore. Because I want to make peace in my home. I want my home to be peaceful. And when you're ranting and raving and yelling and drinking coffee and smoking your cigarettes and you're being all judgy and you want to throw out there, I'm not drinking, I haven't drank, and blah, 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 blah. I think those are characteristics of a dry drunk. Because like I said, I don't toot my horn. I absolutely do not toot my horn. I'll toot my horn to you guys. Because I'm hoping that I can help somebody. And I'm helping myself. These are my personal vlogs too. Others remain unchanged as the period of sobriety increases. I can't do it. I can't. I seen it coming. I seen the wave. I'm not feeling right. I need to fix it. And that's how that's how I'm becoming in my recovery. Some of the symptoms of dry drunkenness can be noticed in the initial phase of sobriety. Yeah. I think mine was definitely in the initial phase, in the beginning. And then, you know, when I hit my plateau and I said, I need to figure something out, because I can't even describe my feeling that I was feeling. I was almost feeling hopeless. Even though I've been sobriety for 3 years, I was feeling hopeless. So this is why I'm here right now, sharing to you what I do to stay sober. I grasp at anything that resonates with me, that feels like I'm being saved. And reading this the other day, I just felt like, man, this is what I needed to read. This is what I needed to hear. I'm almost done. I'm almost at the end of it. Some of the symptoms of dry drunkenness can be noticed in the initial phase of sobriety. And I put this one in parentheses. While others can manifest themselves later, as some addicts work to suppress their dry drunkenness emotions. Yeah. These patterns of behavior can be treated and alleviated through professional assistance. I can't afford professional assistance. I can't. And I never really, I had one counselor at Lakeside Milam. I had the utmost respect for her. Her and her husband ran Lakeside Milam in Auburn way back when I was in my 30s or so. When I first got my DUI, they were both heroin addicts, and I really respected my counselor because she lived a rough life like I did. So opening up to her was easy because I felt like I was talking to somebody that I could relate to, because she had a hard childhood. And when I think about, this is me personally, this is me, this is what I'm feeling as far as counselors go. It's hard for me to sit down with a counselor. I know they're educated. They probably spent a fortune on their education, know a lot more than I ever would. But if they haven't been through it, I you know, I'm just not comfortable with talking with somebody that hasn't like been there. But I learned a lot from her. I really, really learned a lot from her, and I still, you know, carry some of the stuff that she taught me, and when we counseled together, I still remember and carry that with me, and I appreciate her. This is just one little thing that I printed out, and I'll read it real quick, and then I'll be done, and then we can close this video down. How long? Oh, 26 minutes already. Referring to a person who is dry drunk is describing someone sober but not in recovery. I'm going to read that again. Referring to a person who is dry drunk is describing somebody sober but not in recovery. Love that. They may still be behaving as if they were still drinking alcohol. They have the same behavior as if they were still drinking. Or they may develop new unhealthy habits or mindsets. Ultimately, they are not learning to utilize their skills to help them stay sober. That's like, draw that in. Man, put that on your wall. I love that. I don't know if you could see it. I was mad because my printer wasted all that ink. I'm like, dang it. My printer ink is not cheap. I want to read the last one more time. Or they may develop new unhealthy habits or mindsets. Ultimately, they are not learning to utilize skills to help them stay sober. When I read that last line, I'm like, I was really proud of myself, because I'm utilizing my skills, and I just think I'm being too hard on myself. And as I move forward every day, I want to share my challenges. I want to share my challenges with you, and I want to, you know, just share my ups and downs, you know, of staying sober. And that's what I wanted to get on here and share with you guys. And I hope you love this video. And I'm going to get it out first thing in the morning, because I'm going to go to sleep because I'm tired. But again, please like, comment, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.